Anything more on the tech side for you, man?
On the tech side, no, but I have gaming news.
Oh, nice. I've got a bit as well. You start us off.
All right. Well, I don't know if you've heard about it, but there was the Gaming Awards in England last week.
Is it the BAFTA ones?
Yeah, the Bafta ones.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if I know what you're going to say.
Well, I was just going to say, did you know who? I was just saying, did you know who won and who got nominated? I just noticed it because you were talking. You got Titanfall 2.
Ah, yes.
And that got nominated. It didn't win. It got nominated for Best Game of the Year, though.
Oh, wow.
The only thing that beat it was Uncharted 4.
I was just going to say, I know that Uncharted 4 won something. I'm getting to the win. I knew it won. That's really good to hear that Titanfall at least got nominated, because it was up against some big hitters, and I know we covered it on the podcast last week, but like Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty like overshadowing it. But
yeah, well, that's the thing. They didn't get nominated.
Interesting. Probably because everyone was probably expecting them to, so they didn't.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, I won't nominate this because, everyone else will. Let's find something else,
And a big winner was a game called Inside. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's done by, there's a game called Limbo. I can't remember the company that did it. Limbo was, I think it's like, Inside is a prequel to Limbo or something like that. It's a black and white. Limbo is a black and white game, and you play like almost like a shadow of a person.
Oh, I think I've seen that. It's like a little silhouette dude, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. It's really, really popular. It's even out on, I think, Androids and stuff. Like, incredibly popular game. If there's any game that's out there on like every single system, that's the one.
Oh, cool.
So it's done by those guys, and it's called Inside. It came back out on Xbox. Now it's on PS4 and it's on Steam. Fantastic game, like really, really good.
Right.
So I'm not surprised by that either. I played all the way through that. It's like a 4-hour experience, but really, really good.
And then I think I got to hear the best multiplayer was Overwatch, which I haven't played.
Oh, fantastic!
Have you played it?
I've got it.
It's weird because it won best multiplayer, but we haven't played it because we hate each other. That's why we don't even do the podcast in the same room.
Yes, I know. We can't stand to look at each other, but we can hear each other.
Yeah, that's as far as we'll go.
No, that's done by Blizzard, the guys who do World of Warcraft, and Diablo. So all their games are like super, super polished, and this is a first-person shooter. So it's a first-person shooter done by these guys. Like, art styles like super cool. The game's just so well polished off that it's great on all the systems. Runs great on all the systems. Looks great. So I kind of not surprised by that either.
Yeah, and obviously the best mobile game was Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go, nice.
Yeah,
that's I never got into that, but I know that was so crazy, man. Like, I remember driving home. And I'd see people on the side of the road, or just like going into random spots just to find these Pokemon. There was a car on the motorway, stopped, like at the turnover, or the as you just go in,
right,
on a busy motorway, and there was 2 people on their phones, and you knew they were just catching Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
Stopped and pulled over on a busy motorway just for it.
They got a Mewtwo or whatever it is.
Yeah. Did you try it at all?
No, I never tried. I was never a big Pokemon guy. I watched the cartoon. That was about it.
That's another thing. I was never a Pokemon guy. I don't know. All I know is Pikachu, the
or
yellow
girl.
guy.
We're not racist.
Yeah. Or dog or cat.
Yeah, cats can play it too.
They can be into it.
Put your cats in a Pokeball. That'd be great.
In a Pokeball, yeah. You'd love to do it. Just roll them down a hill.
Yeah.
See you later. They'd find their way back somehow.
They would.
That's cool, yeah. The BAFTAs, yeah. I believe a mate of mine that does games goes to that as well, actually.
Yeah, it's turned into a big proper industry,
Yeah, they get all the celebrities come up to announce all the awards, because they're playing the games, So.
Yeah, they're playing the games and they're doing the voices, and like people would think, oh, it's just games. I don't know if there's still people out there who think it's just games, but they posted like the amount of games that were sold worldwide last year in dollars, right. American dollars. Guess what the total sales were?
I just really don't know, man.
Last year, it was an 8% increase on the previous year, so that's a big step up.
Yeah.
The final tally was $99.6 billion.
Billion. So,
just
am
shy
I
of
correct in saying that
$100 billion in games?
I'm correct in saying that the game industry is bigger than the movie industry?
Yeah, that's a bigger amount that was spent on movies.
Yeah. Because, it makes sense with a game being $80 and a cinema ticket being like $15, $20. So.
That's the only thing. The cost is higher, but the ratio is still, it's, if that's where the money is, that's where everyone's going to start turning to.
Well, I believe, I don't know much about movie studios, as in, like, I'm not sure how many people would work on, say, the new Thor compared to Uncharted, but that's kind of like, say, Guardians of the Galaxy and then Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4 was about 4 years, maybe 5 years of development with a big team, but the beginning of it was probably, like, half the team, and then towards, like, the last 3 years was the full team. And when I say team, I think, I'm just throwing numbers, but I think it would be, like, 250, 300 people.
Right.
So I'm not sure
On a big
Guardians
film
of the
like
Galaxy,
Thor
but
or Guardians, it would be about the same amount of people, but the difference is they wouldn't be working for the entire life of the movie.
Okay, right.
So, you'd have camera crew and all that who would film it, but they wouldn't be there in post-production.
Right, okay.
So it would take 300 people from start to finish, but maybe, I don't know, 10 of them would be there from the beginning, like the director, or the producer. Like it'd probably even be only a handful, like 3 or 4 guys.
Yeah.
So you're paying, but in terms of the amount of people, like games, it's like they're there for 4 years just working on making sure Nathan Drake's head is perfectly square, but also handsome.
Oh yes, yeah. I remember they released a trailer of that Uncharted 4, and it was just him on being washed up on a beach, but then everyone it came up in the corner and it was like all gameplay footage, and it just looked so real. Everyone's like, no, you're lying to us, it's not real. But they probably had movie artists helping out with that, because now the quality of these games, a lot of the artists from movies are moving over because they're used to going extreme detail on CG for films. But now they can do that exact same extreme detail in games, and it's more interactive and there's more money in it. So
and once you've rendered it, it's not just there for 1 second. People can use it. It's a little bit more rewarding in a long term.
Yeah, you can use that model again, light it, and then in the sequel, just improving the model, or the game engine will light it better. But it's definitely a really exciting time. And
when you were saying they cross over, it just brings up a piece of news. I don't care enough that I'm going to bring it up in the movie section. I'm not dirtying my section with it, but it's just the Call of Duty guys they're getting into making movies now too.
Oh yeah.
So the games and the movies are going to really blend together eventually, because I think it's just a matter of time before one studio Paramount or somebody buys out Blizzard or something like that, or PlayStation. Sony owns Spider-Man.
It's the other way around almost.
Yeah. Or the other way around, Battlefront.
Yeah, some of these guys are so
Netflix or something.
Yeah, they're so bloody big. Yeah, because Call of Duty, I know this year had Kit Harington in it. He was the bad guy apparently. And games have always more and more are getting film actors, because the games can render it so well. It properly looks like Kit. It's not just a crappy game version of him. It's it's almost as good as his real self.
Yeah,
but,
it's getting really close
totally
to being undistinguishable.
Undistinguishable. And then you've got movies like Assassin's Creed, which started as a game and now as a movie.
Yeah.
And then
no one's been able to make a good video game movie.
No, I know. Apparently Assassin's Creed is the best attempt though.
Right.
So I don't know. You're a big Fassbender fan.
I'm a big Fassbender. I haven't watched it. I'm not paying for it. I'm gonna wait till it's on Netflix.
I haven't seen it either. My brothers saw it and they liked it. They weren't blown away, but because they knew what they were expecting, and they knew that it was a game, a movie game. So
right.
But they were still I was entertained. But they weren't just oh my god, you gotta go see this.
Yeah. Oh, and here's a final question for your on the spot moment.
Oh yeah.
What's the biggest market for spending on games?
The biggest market?
Yeah, what country is the biggest spender?
Oh, for spending on games. I know that Germany is huge in gaming. Is it Germany?
It is not Germany.
No?
It's pretty obvious when you think about it. It's China.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
China.
I just thought maybe because of the blocking, because you know how they block Google and shit. I thought they block games and stuff. But I know, Germany are huge on games, and I know that they also have a couple of gaming expos that are really, really big. But
yeah, number 6 was the UK though, just so you know.
Oh yeah, the UK. Yeah, what have I got? I've got kicking it off with that Project Scorpio. So they released some specs this week. Basically, those specs were Microsoft just saying to all the geeks out there, and then they would all kind of put all the information in layman terms. Yeah, the specs are it's pretty awesome. It's it's
you don't have to put it in layman terms, because I'm not going to understand it whatever terms you put it in. But I'm sure the people listening to you, they'll actually care what you're talking about.
They will.
As I got 6 RAM, 4 sheep. I don't understand what the measurements are.
Oh, I thought you were saying RAM is in actual RAM memory.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know if there's little rams in there running around button heads. All I know is every now and again my computer sounds like an aircraft taking off. Just
well, that's the hamsters on the wheel turning around. No, they did release the specs, and it's super powerful, just like they said. Their whole thing is it will run 4K, native 4K. So the PlayStation Pro says it's running 4K, but it's really kind of it's upscaling. It's tricking you.
Are you telling me PlayStation is lying to me?
They've been lying to you. Yes.
How will I ever forgive them? I can't get over this. This is terrible.
by buying a console in the next couple of months.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
No, so basically, yeah, it's got some specs, some awesome specs, and it's all coming through. So they gave it to a site in England, or a company called Eurogamer. So they've got a website, and they've got a division of that site which like analyzes things in details. So they actually revealed their specs to them and sent them out to like their headquarters to see it running. So then those guys can write articles on it and tell everyone like all the details.
Okay.
But yeah, it's super powerful. It's like quite a lot more powerful than the PlayStation Pro, but it is coming out in November, so it's basically a year after the Pro. Yeah, they're backing up everything like they said, because Microsoft kept saying like this is going to be super powerful and everything. Now, one thing to note, it's not a new console, it's not a new generation of consoles. So every game that you have bought on the Xbox One or even the 360 will run on this guy as well, which is great.
That's sweet.
So they're not cutting it off. But the one thing they will probably do is say Halo 7, the new game, like I'm sure they'll announce it, that will still run on Xbox One, but it's just going to be built for Scorpio, and it's just going to look incredible on Scorpio, and maybe it has like a couple of game modes just for Scorpio. It's still going to run on Xbox One, which is good as well, because you don't really want to cut those people off, because as soon as you do those exclusive games, then it's like, well, everyone, all those millions of people that got Xbox Ones, they can't play Halo 7 now,
Yeah.
So they're doing it right, and they're learning from their mistakes. But I think the biggest thing is like those specs of the machine are like sweet as, like it's quite a lot more powerful than the PlayStation Pro.
Right.
So it's they're going to be able to say that we've got the most powerful console. So, and they're going to really, really hit all that messaging at E3 in June. So E3 in June, like I know we keep talking about it, but it's going to be...
That's our job, to talk about things.
Microsoft
That's literally all we do.
Microsoft are coming in hard with that, and it sounds like they're doing well. And they're going to have... E3 is going to be their games, so they're going to be like their Halos, their Gears of War, and new games. People want to see new games.
Yeah.
Then you got Nintendo. Nintendo just had a mini conference 2 hours ago.
Oh, wow.
So they call
fresh off the presses.
It really is, yeah. They call them Directs, Nintendo Directs, and they're like these. You can stream them online, and they released a couple more release dates, or set a couple more release dates for 2 games. One is Splatoon. So Splatoon was on the Wii U. I don't know if you know about this game.
Spittoon or Splatoon?
Splatoon. So it's like
Splatoon.
Yeah, and you've got these little characters you
Obviously,
run around.
No,
like...
I don't know about this game.
No, because I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a really competitive game on the Wii U, and they're bringing it to the Switch, and it's like this little. You control these little characters, and you've got these paintball guns, and you have to shoot the other team. But say if you're yellow and you spray the floor with all yellow, it means your characters can glide along that part because it's yellow. But if the other team that's blue has sprayed the floor blue, you can't step on that surface. So it kind of puts a interesting play on things.
Yeah, okay.
So, and then there's lots of colors. It could be 4v4 and stuff. But anyway, that's coming to the Switch, which is awesome because it's going to look better, run better, and you can play it on the go. So, and then they released another release date for a brand new game called Arms, which uses the controllers. So you swing it's basically boxing, but it's like a cartoon kind of robot version. So it's like a little bit like a Robot Wars. You hold both controllers in your hands.
We've done Robot Wars. You're repeating yourself now. We don't need it again.
This is Nintendo 2 hours ago.
True.
We should call in and tell them.
And
it's been done.
And Nintendo own Japan, so they can do what they want, I guess.
They can do what they want, yeah. So that game, anyway, those 2 games are June and July, and then they also announced Monopoly.
What?
I don't
on the Nintendo Switch?
Not really sure what to think about that.
Oh man, they're really stretching to get some games out on that thing now, aren't they?
I was just started to read the comments actually in the site I was reading, and like people are like, right, I'm off to buy the $300 Switch now the Monopoly's on it,
Look at Monopoly in 720. I can 360 around the board.
Monopoly on the Scorpio
Tamagotchis,
in 4K.
Robot Wars, and bloody Monopoly. Like, what have you guys been doing for 30 years? Someone has to go around and talk to these damn developers.
I don't know about you, but I'm going to go re-buy Mario after this podcast.
Yeah, so. Microsoft have just been stuffing scorpions into machines, and Apple have just got hamsters in there. I don't understand the gaming world anymore.
No one does. No one ever has. So they're going to be bringing their big guns, and then PlayStation's big guns are going to be just games, like content. Like, they've got loads of games. They've got the consoles. They're all out there. The regular PlayStation is pretty cheap now, but if you want a Pro and play it at like higher frame rates and stuff, that's awesome. But PlayStation just like every month have a game coming out, and like every 3 months it's an exclusive game that you can't get anywhere else.
Right.
So at E3, they're just going to be firing on all cylinders again, saying new game, and then start putting some release dates on like God of War and new Uncharted and stuff like that. So if they do that, I think they'll be fine. Because at the end of the day, you've got Nintendo and you've got Xbox, great systems, but if you don't have anything to play, what's the point, you know? So whereas PlayStation, it's just like, boom, I've got like 3 games a month coming out that I'm interested in playing. And that's where you're going to be going onto the store, going to the shops and buying it. So
if the Xbox is that much, the Scorpio is that much more powerful.
Yeah.
If it was Christmas and you didn't have any of them, so you have a PlayStation Pro, you got your Scorpio, and you got your Nintendo Switch. Pretty sure the Switch is already dead. Like, you wouldn't get that. Like, if you had a choice, you probably wouldn't get that. Which one of the two would you get if you had to go again?
I'd still go PlayStation just because the games speak more to me. But there are plenty of people out there that they like Forza because it's driving. They like Gears of War. It's like bro game. And then everyone likes Halo. So those are 3 really big franchises for them. And then it has a couple of other ones here and there, but PlayStation's just always spoke to me, like the Tekkens, the Wipeouts, the Crash Bandicoots.
Oh yeah, that's right. They're exclusive, God of Wars, aren't they?
Yeah, so they're only on that. So
that's your June gone as well. That's going to be a lot of videos coming out from you in June.
I know, and also Injustice 2. I've
been playing.
I know. I haven't slept for the month of June, so it's just like. Injustice 2 looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Every week they're releasing a new character. So this morning they released Scarecrow.
Scarecrow, nice.
So he's going to be awesome. But like every week they're releasing a video, but then because it's got like a single player to it. So this Scarecrow guy like sounds awesome. But he's like, they're showing like part of their single player with him in it. But it looks like a meaty game. It's gonna be pretty awesome. And there's gonna be plenty of characters to choose from.
Maybe we should add a little segment on Scarecrow like we had on Flash last week.
Oh yeah,
we'll do that next time. Maybe we'll just start talking about the science behind the superheroes. Bearing in mind we know nothing about science and very little about superheroes. We'll just go through what is possible if this guy could lift up a mountain.
Boom.
Probably rip his own arm out.
That's true.
The science.
And
there's another game actually, because I know you still got to do your Horizon Zero Dawn review. God damn it!
I know.
But you got that, and then like the games that are coming out, the proper reviews. You got your whatever, your Wipeout, your Tekken, your Crash Bandicoot. But there was one game I noticed popped up today. It's there's a couple of games. One I'll go into in a minute, but the other one is Shadow of War. It's coming out. Oh yeah, it's coming out on PlayStation, on Xbox.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's Lord of the Rings, and I remember Lord of the Rings back on Xbox 360. Oh, yeah. And that was a great like fighting game.
Yeah.
But I want to see this one because it's like an RPG kind of thing. And the last one was called Shadow of Mordor. It's supposed to be really good.
Yeah, I played it a little bit. It has a really interesting take to it. It's got this kind of revenge system. So if you kill an orc, or if you kill an orc, then its crew might like run away. It's like an open world, but then you might see that orc again, like one of the orcs that ran away, like an hour or 2 hours into the game, and it knows that it saw you and you killed its boss, and then it has this revenge thing against you, and it's just like, hey, I remember this, you know. But it works the other way around as well. Like if you die by one of the orcs, then it kind of puts a little star above his head. He's like gloating and everything like that, and he goes up a level. And then when you start back, he's like got better armor and stuff, but you might not see him again for like another hour or 2 again, you know. But that's kind of an interesting system that way. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. They've released some of the in-game footage today and it looks really quality. But that's coming out on PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah, that does look great. And also, usually movie games aren't too great, but they're starting to.
But that's the thing. But I remember playing the Lord of the Rings one, and like you're on the tower and you have to like fight everybody. You're at Helm's Deep and everything, and it was fun. It wasn't a perfect game, but like it was a real fun kind of game.
Yeah, especially when you love the series as well. Yeah.
And that's coming out, I think, sometime in like the end of the summer, like August or something.
Oh yeah.
So I might do a review on that one and take your job.
I've got to do a shout out, and it's not really a shout out. It's just more of a this is hilarious. So one of the worst games ever reviewed, possibly people might say it is on the Nintendo 64. Can you guess what it is?
Nintendo 64.
It's on the Nintendo 64.
Maybe I should say GoldenEye and get a bunch of hate mail.
It's a superhero game. You like the superhero.
Is it Superman?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I've never played it. I've heard it was awful.
Superman and Nintendo 64, just like have a look it up on YouTube. The guy's flying through these rings. It's basically a half-baked, half-finished game. Like, I think the development team might have killed themselves like halfway through or something.
No, they're still alive. They were hired to do the cyborg CGI on the new trailer.
Oh, goodness me. Yeah. And also helped with Batman vs. Superman.
I gotta say, though, he looks really good in the latest stuff I've seen. Which is the poster. He looks
Oh,
great. He
okay.
looks great in the poster.
You're talking about Cyborg.
Yeah.
Yeah. My Snowball Mike looks just like his costume. So.
It's better rendered.
Better rendered, yeah. Here's a cool one. Yesterday, I
told you,
was,
I'll be the judge of that. That's not your job.
Give me a cool factor meter, like
cool potential.
Cool potential, yeah. I don't know what that was, but
don't know.
Sorry, I won't do that again.
No, I'm leaving that in. That's going in every episode now.
Again. That's the beginning of the episode. Is Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Damn it, I was going to bring that up.
Oh yeah?
That was my one piece of good gaming news that I was
You mean it got leaked?
Yeah.
Well, you finish it off.
I watched the trailer and...
No!
I did. I watched that like 30 seconds leak and I freaked the fuck out.
Yeah,
I haven't been excited for a game. Like, I'm just not in the zone. I don't pay attention.
Yeah.
But then I watched that, and then the last, like, spoiler alert for everyone listening now, they've got Darth Maul.
Yeah.
And then he's fighting the little green bastard himself. He's fighting Yoda.
Yeah.
And then right at the end, they have the little head turn around, and it's Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
And I fangirled so hard. I was squealing. I was like, "Oh my god!"
That's what people wanted to see. Well, the fans wanted to see two things. They wanted to see more space battles, which that trailer basically shows a lot more as well.
That's all it is.
And then
it's
they
all
wanted
space.
they wanted to see more, the newer characters.
Yeah.
And then so they do, but that is awesome because like Darth Maul as well and the older. So you're getting a bit of everything, really.
Yeah, I thought it was just going to be like it starts off and it's at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And then they have the space battles. Like, all right, I'm happy now. I'm excited. But then when they threw in like the lightsabers and everything, it's like, holy shit.
It's single player as well. So that was the number one request. Was they loved the multiplayer, that they thought the game was great, but there was no real single player. So this one is a single player. So I don't know if it's going to be its own story. Whether they are working with Lucas, so they must be some kind of. I don't know if it's going to mimic the films or it will be its own little thing. I have a feeling it will be its own little thing, but I don't think they're going to like write any new crazy stories or anything. They'll probably work with Lucas to make it work.
No, I don't even need to.
I don't know.
Just have people fighting. Just have lightsabers and space battles. That's all we need.
It would work. It would work for sure. Yeah, I'm not like a huge Star Wars fan, but even just seeing that myself, I was like, yeah, this is awesome. But it's a shame everything gets leaked because that was for Star Wars Day. But when is Star Wars Day?
It's this week. It's this weekend. So. They're going to be releasing the Last Jedi trailer as well this weekend.
Oh, nice. I thought it would be like on May the 4th or something.
Oh, yeah. They have the May the 4th thing as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of brings me on to
that Battlefront game's not out till Christmas.
Just gets leaked season.
Yeah.
What was that?
The game's not out till Christmas anyway, so there'll probably be a lot more stuff leaked before then.
Yeah.
But again, I don't follow it, so I don't really give a crap.
Everything is just getting leaked these days, and it just feels like if it's not got leaked, then it's not hyped enough, or it's not it's not good enough if it hasn't got leaked. It's
if people aren't willing to commit a crime and get their non-disclosure agreements in trouble.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
but as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's a shame because there's a lot of work that goes into those games and movies, and for it to get leaked, but sometimes I feel like maybe they don't mind because it's just like, oh yeah, people are really like going all over this. Oh, the video's already got this many views or whatever.
It's like a free way of testing the waters, isn't it? Like
it kind of is.
If you kind of have it leaked and then no one pays attention, you're like, oh, we've done something wrong.
Yeah,
and you've got an extra bit of time to fix it. But if something gets leaked and it's all over the place, you're like, oh, great. Everybody's up for this now.
Actually, one of the biggest leaks, definitely in the gaming industry, was the Half-Life 2. Actually got leaked around 2 years before it was supposed to come out. So someone leaked the source code, and it was just like demo material. I remember people were all talking about it, and there were videos online. But it was before like YouTube was like huge, so there were like different video sites that hosted it, but it had like a room where you can play around with physics and stuff. And this game, I'm not sure how old Half-Life is, but it's it's getting there. It's like 15 years old or whatever. And it had just incredible physics and graphics for the time. So people were playing the leak. Valve were like really, really pissed off, and they were like, oh my god, this game, which we know is going to be awesome, but we really wanted it to be just a massive impact when we released it. But the leak ended up playing in their favor because like everyone talks about it to this day anyway, but also people were playing that test level saying, holy shit, this is good, Yeah. And then that leak went on the news and everything. They eventually found the person that did it and he got arrested and stuff. But it ended up playing in their favor and like amplified it for them. Lots of things leaked.
It's kind of like the first ever beta testing, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it kind of was actually. Instead of just keeping it internal, it was like, oh, everyone's got it now. And then they had to obviously bring in some security people because it went through their firewall. The guy was able to send it through their firewall and stuff. But yeah, I always remember that happening. But sometimes it works out in their favor, and then sometimes it's just a kick in the face because you know, the artists do all of this work, and then you just mess with them.
You don't really... Do you pay attention to a lot of the leaks? Are you following that kind of stuff?
It depends. Like, you mean leaks for films and stuff? Or
well, I know for films we don't really care. Like, oh, we've got photos from set, or like, oh, somebody was downtown and they saw Chris Hemsworth or whatever. It's
like, yeah. I'm not too bothered. Like, I know that, you know, like, well, that was more of an official thing. Is like when they finished filming something, they'll say like finish filming, and there might be a set photo, but that just comes up on my feed anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm not hunting it down going like, oh, I want to see, you know, pictures of Blade Runner behind the scenes. I want to find the leaks and stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to pay attention at all. Like, what about games though? Like, do you want to know more about the game, or like would you want to have that like early first level to see what it's going to look like?
I'd say I don't mind learning about leaks as in like the Battlefront things, or what. I don't mind that. It's playing it. So say if that Battlefront was actually gameplay and it was like, oh, you can download it to your PlayStation, I wouldn't do that because that does spoil it.
Yeah.
But seeing the visual, it's just hype, really. You know, you see, like, I remember when I saw Battlefield 1, like the one of the first images for that, I was like, it can't look this good, surely not. And it was just hype, and then it does look that good. But if like there was a level that got leaked and everyone was playing it, I'd be like, I don't want to play it until like the game's ready, until they want me to see it, you know. But a screenshot, I don't mind because it's like a work in progress, and I do that all the time at work. I'm always like, this is a work in progress, you know.
Yeah.
But if someone was to like look at like a render, like one of your videos before it was ready, and then they're like, I don't know about this, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's not fucking finished.
It's not going to get any better, but it's not finished. Just accept it for what it is.
It's Battlefront 2, and that's I think that's November. That's along with all their Call of Duties and stuff as well.
Yeah, they're getting ready for the Christmas market, so
yeah.
I think
Battlefront 2
that'll be our Christmas day. We'll just play Battlefront.
Yeah, well, that's their because it's done by the guys that did Battlefield, and Battlefield 1 came out, so they're doing Battlefront 2, and then next year will be whatever the next Battlefield is. I don't know what it is, but
I guess all these are like everyone's trying to plan to get these to E3 and have a release or teasers there, I guess.
Totally, yeah, that's going to be the big thing. Like, so that ad
could
was
you
leaked.
Imagine if they made Battlefront 2 VR compatible? Oh my god!
Well, there is Battlefront 1. There is like a 10-minute, 15-minute. You get into a X-wing and you fly it in VR.
All right,
and that's exclusive to PlayStation for 6 months, so it should be out on Oculus next month. Because it'll be 6 months next month,
and then we can finally have it all in Battlefront 2. I'd say they have to put it in, wouldn't they? They'd have to have something in there.
I would think so. Yeah, everyone was surprised that Batman VR was coming out, and it was because it sold really well on PlayStation.
Yeah.
So the guys that make the Batman games, like super talented, they wouldn't bring it out on the Vive and the Oculus unless they had a reason to, and they were like, oh, we can make this much money off it because it made this much money on PlayStation, you know. So if they're seeing, you know, like pros to it, then I'm sure like DICE are as well. Like they had their X-Wing Battlefront stuff, so who didn't buy that? Like being in an X-Wing. If you had a PlayStation VR and you didn't buy the Star Wars X-Wing VR experience, you shouldn't own a fucking headset. It's like, I just don't. It's like the Star Trek one that's coming out. Like I'm super interested. Like I just want to walk around the main, you know.
Yeah, you just want to hang out with it.
Yeah. Like, I think that one's, like, pretty multiplayer focused. You need to play with another 4 people. But, yeah, I just want to walk around the bridge. So, it'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Another thing with VR is today, we always knew it was coming out. So, have you ever played Fallout, the game?
I haven't played the full version. I know it. Like, the Apocalypse RPG.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
My brother plays it, so I know a lot about it from him. But Fallout 4, which is their latest one, is going to be completely VR. So, they're making it all VR, like properly VR.
Oh, cool.
And that's going to be shown at E3 for the first time. But apparently, there's been a few people that have checked it out. Again, it's just a hype machine, but a couple of them have said, big industry guys have said, like, unbelievable, changes the game. Like, this is really going to sell VR even more, you know?
Right.
So you've got these Batman experiences, you've got these walk the plank ones and stuff, but apparently this Fallout 4, like when you play it in VR, it's just like, right, this is going to shift some headsets because this is incredibly good.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be at E3, so I'm looking forward to that. I actually didn't have that added to my list. Like usually I have a little list of like games I want to play, and that one I was like, I'm not like a huge Fallout fan, but I might try it out kind of thing. But now that I've been sucked into that hype, I'm like, okay, that's going on the list. I'll see what it's like.
Right. And is that going to be just or just a PC version, or will the PlayStation?
It will be Oculus and actually no, I don't know if they've said. I believe it might just be PC. No, they'd be smart to do PlayStation. So I'll have to look that up.
But the PC
trouble with
one
the PlayStation one, the PlayStation one, you have to downgrade it, and I'm not sure if that's something development wise, whether they can build one version, just scale it to all of them, or because the Vive and the Oculus are quite a bit better than PlayStation VR. So I'm not sure if it's just one game and you just export it to all of them, or whether you have to do kind of 2 different builds. But hopefully they do. So
okay,
that'd be pretty sweet. Sweet.
But, anything that gets the VR moving. Like you played.
No, I know.
You cleared. What was it? Super hot.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah,
we were showing you guys and my brother and I think the thing with Super Hot,
and you said, "Give me it, I'll do it." And you finished the whole game.
It was kind of a cool thing though. Super Hot, the way it works is you have to finish the game to play the rest of the levels. So when you finish the whole game, then you get to go back and choose any level you want.
It's like Sonic. Remember Sonic? You'd clear Sonic and then you go back and play any level you want.
Yeah. So it's basically the guys were around and I was showing a bunch of people and I was like, well, this is a cool level. But unfortunately, I think it's the last level of the whole game, and it was. Yeah. So you were trying it, and my brother was trying it, and you were like, "This is bastard hard." And
yeah, because we had
it is the last level. So I was like, and then that's when I was like, "Just give it to me for a second." And I thought, "Oh, I might struggle with this," but I just happened to just do it very quickly. And then you guys probably looked at me and were like, "What the hell did you just do there?"
What was that?
How long have you been playing this for?
Yeah, you were bent around in like 3 different shapes. You had one arm around your back. You were looking at one guy, and then you were slowly moving your head, being like, I'm going to grab that hammer, I'm going to throw it at this guy, and then I'm going to kick him and grab his shotgun. And we're just like, what the hell have you been doing here? Just been training yourself to be a fucking secret agent.
I was explaining my moves as I was doing it. I'm going to hammer his head in. And then I was like, I'm going to shoot him, but I need to shoot him in advance. Like, I need to shoot ahead. Yeah. And then, but everything I did just worked out. And then I was like, all right, game completed. Yeah. I was like, okay.
And we just took a step back, being like, all right, Alex has turned himself into a killer. He just downloaded how to be an assassin. Didn't know they could do that in the VR world. He's like Neo.
Walking into work, a hammer to the head.
Yeah. All we need to figure out is what your trigger word is. And that'll set you off and work one day.
What's the trigger word in Silver Soldier?
He's got a bunch of Russian words, though.
Yeah, it was the phrases from the book, wasn't it?
Yeah, one of them's homecoming, I know that.
Okay, right. Yeah, that's pretty much what I've got for gaming, man.
Oh, you don't have anything else? Nothing at all?
Not in the gaming. I've got a few in the good old movies.